Good morning, this is Sheila and welcome back to my channel, and today I am excited to get going with the tutorial on my newest version of the paper bag junk journal. And this is what it looks like when it's put together, and this is what it looks like when it's finished. So I already did a video of the flip through this, and I will link that below this video. And this is already available on my Etsy, so if you want to head over and be one of the lucky ones to purchase this. And I mean, it's really chunky. I worked really hard on this. I mean, I've been learning to what do you call it, do more collage work, you know, add in layers to my tags and things. So yeah, so that's really chunky. So before you get to that, before that finished project, this is what it looks like to begin with. And this one I already put together, and I'm thinking if there's an interest, I may make some more of these so that, and sell them on my Etsy. So if you don't want to go through the process of creating your own, if you already want a ready-made that's all ready for you to decorate, if there's an interest, let me know, and I will add these to my Etsy shop. So, alright, so with that said, let's get going. So the bags I've used, let me see, did I already throw that away? So the paper bags that I used, I bought these at Christmas time at Hobby Lobby, and they were Christmas party gift sacks. But in the party section at Hobby Lobby, you can actually find some paper sacks similar, so you don't have to wait for Christmas to come along. You also can use lunch bags. At Michael's, near the where the Martha Stewart things are, they also have some bags, so you don't really have to go out and get these ones. I actually picked up a few of these packs because the material that the bags are made out of are really nice, and you can see, you know, they're not misshapen. Like if you go out and buy regular lunch bags, they're kind of misshapen, and you have to pick through them to find the ones, unless you don't mind. But I'm kind of picky, so I'm glad I found these. Okay, so first of all, you will need 6 bags, and there's 12 to a pack, so you'll be able to get 2 books out of them. So you need 6 of the bags, and I will have all the measurements and things down below. Then, trying to get my things out, you will need 25 pieces of coffee dyed paper, cardstock, anything you want to use for your pages. And of course I use coffee dyed. So you need 25 sheets of that. The paper bags measure 10 by, I think it's 10, let me see, yep, they measure 5 by 10 inches. So your papers are going to be 5 inches by 9.5, because you don't want them to stick out. You don't want them to stick out. So cutting them 9.5 is perfect. So you're going to need 25 of those. Then for the gussets that go in between the bags and attached to the pages, I did this a little bit different than I did my other one, because you know, when you do things, you think of other ways to make it better or easier. So I have a different way of putting the whole book together than I did that original one. So anyway, you're going to need 5 of gussets, and I thought I wrote this down on the thing. So the gussets are measure 5. You're going to need 5 of them, so they measure 5 inches by 2 1/4. So 5 inches by 2 1/4. So you need 5 of those. And you're going to score it at 1 inch and then at 1 1/4. And I'll repeat that. You're going to score it at 1 inch and 1 1/4. So that's that. Then the spine piece measures 5 inches by 3 1/2, and you're going to score that at 1 inch and then at 2 1/2. So that's 1 inch and 2 1/2. And then that's all you need for the book. So what I do first is excuse me, I don't know what's going on with my voice, allergies I guess, but so first of all, what I like to do is on the bags, get your glue. I glue this part to the bag. You can leave it open a little bit. No, you can't. Not for this. No. Scratch that. No. On other projects, people leave this open. You can use it as a tuck spot. But for this project, we're not. So before you start with your pages or anything, you need to glue your bags. You're gonna glue the flap here, and then you are going to glue on the sides here, on both sides. So let's start that. And I'm using the Aleene's tacky glue. You could use whatever you like. I wouldn't recommend tape, double-sided tape, because in warmer climates, that double-sided tape seems to not stick well, and your book may fall apart. And I found that out by, you know, I've been working with this for a couple of years now, and I found that the tape does not stick well, especially when it's humid. So I don't use it for everything. I do use it on pages, you know, like when I'm putting papers down, but not if you're doing stuff like this. So you're gonna glue each side. Just like that. Okay, so I'm going to do one more on camera, then I'm going to pause the film and do all the rest of mine, because I don't want to be here all day while you're watching me do this, because it is a little time consuming. So you're going to glue the flap here, just like that, and you're going to glue down your sides here. And I would suggest to let these dry well before you start folding them in half. Alright, so that's that one. So now I'm going to pause the film while I finish my other four. Okay. Alright, so all my bags are glued where they need to be. So I'm going to set them aside, and you let them dry a little. So let them dry and then start working on your pages. So like I said, you're going to need 25 pages. So what I did, I picked out 5 different types of paper, sort of. So, and now I'm gonna like just mix up the pages. I should have did this before, but you can use whatever paper you want. You can use cardstock if you want, whichever you like. It really doesn't matter. So I just got 5 different types of paper. I didn't ink the edges on this project. I only do that if I want it to look grungy. And I think I have one less. Okay. Okay, so how come I did that? I actually got less pages than I thought I was, but anyway, that doesn't matter. So now, you need 5 pages for each section, which I think I'm missing a couple, but that doesn't matter. Actually, I think I'm gonna pause it. I don't know why I did that, but I'm gonna go cut some more and I'll be right back. Alright, so you're gonna need 25 pieces of paper, and there's 5 pieces in each section. So what I do is, I don't know why that's sticking up with that, is I fold all my pages individually. Oops. Darn. I tore that piece a little. Alright. And then after they're folded, I kind of mix things up a little. And place them inside of one another. Just like that. So now you got 5 pieces that are folded. Alright, so you put that aside, and then you do the rest to the other 4 sections. So I'm going to pause the camera while I get all mine done, and I'll be right back. I either didn't turn the camera back on or it shut off for some reason. I don't know. But anyway, I stapled all my sections together, and now I'm going to attach them to the gussets. Now in the original book, the original paper bag, I attached the gussets to the paper bags before I added the paper, and that's a little bit harder. So this time I said, well, I'm going to try doing it, gluing them or adhering them to the gussets first, and it was a lot easier. So you need 5 of these, like I mentioned, and you're going to score them again at 1 inch and 1 1/4. So I already scored them, so now I'm just gonna crease where I scored. And I was talking about my son coming for a visit this weekend, so I'm trying to get my videos done so that I don't have to worry about that. And I'm excited. He's coming for 4 days, and the last time he came, it was Mother's Day. He actually surprised me. I had no clue that he was coming, and that was last year. So this year he wanted to come visit for a few days. He's going to meet up with friends in California, I think, after. So I'm looking forward to that. Alright, so now all my gussets are scored and folded, so they look like that. So now you take your pages, and I am going to glue them just like that. But when you're gluing them, make sure that the spine of the gusset is even. So what I did was I laid this down. I didn't put any glue on the gusset itself. I left that plain, but I'm just gonna put some glue on each side of that, The reason why I didn't glue the gusset part is because that gives it like leeway, I guess I want to call it. I don't know exactly how to call it, but at least when you open the book, your page isn't, this spine isn't glued there, so it gives it more leeway, I guess. So what I did was just try to line up the booklet, I guess you call it, in the middle of the gusset, and make sure your spine is straight. You can also lay it down on your table like this, and it kind of keeps that spine straight. And you can even open it up and make sure that glue sticks to those first two pages. So now you have your gusset on there. So now you're going to do that to all 5 of them. I'm a messy gluer, I guess you can see that. And always stand it up and try to get your paper in the middle of that gusset. Make sure it's straight. Just like that. Important thing is to make sure it's straight, because if it's not straight, then your spine's not going to come out even. Alright. I wonder how many of you got snow. We got rain, no snow. And we're supposed to get more showers over the weekend. I'm so tired of this weather. I can't wait for the nice weather to come and stay. I'm ready for spring. Although today is supposed to hit near 60, but it doesn't last long. But here in North Carolina, by the middle of March, it's warm. It's in the 70s, and people start planting certain things around that time. They get their gardens ready. Like our neighbor next door will probably get his garden ready for planting. So that means you will be smelling that lovely smell of manure. There's a couple of days just before planting that I can't really open my windows to let in fresh air unless I want to smell that lovely smell. But that's what happens when you live in farm country. The first year I was here though, oh my goodness, I was like, I don't know if I can handle that. But you get used to it. Maybe some people never get used to it, but now I'm used to it. It really doesn't bother me. I won't open my windows though. But when I go out to walk the dog around the yard, it really doesn't bother me like it used to. Alright. So, one more. I'm just watching my battery. I don't want it to run out. So like I was mentioning, I want to make some of these up. So for those of you who just want to like get the book and decorate it without having to create it, I'm gonna, if you're interested, let me know and I can make some and have them available on my Etsy. And that way you can just start off when you get it and start decorating instead of going through this whole process. Alright, so now all 5 of mine are glued, so I'm just going to lay them aside for right now, let them dry a little, and go back to the bags. And I like to try to score my bags instead of trying to fold them. Just makes it easier. So what I do, I have 6 of them, so I do 3 folding on this side, meaning this way, and then 3 folded this way. So I do opposite. So you have opposite, I don't know. I just do it that way. I don't know what I'm trying to say. But anyway, so now you're going to score your bags at 5 inches and try to be careful because you don't want to tear the bag. So I'm just going to go score mine. And I go down a couple times. Scoring at 5 inches. Oop, that ain't 5 inches. What am I doing? Okay. So now they're all scored. Put this aside. So now we're going to fold these. Try to line it up best you can. Scoring just makes it a little bit easier to fold, especially these bags because they're thick. So you want to get a nice crease. That's why I say, you know, like allow your bag to dry after gluing them. It just works a little better than if you try gluing them and then fold them right away. I learned that the hard way. Alright, so now they're all folded. So, I always want my cover, the front and back, to be smooth, not having this. So I always make sure I have those, one for the front, one for the back, and then in the book it doesn't matter how they look. So I mean, if you don't glue this part of the bag all the way and you want to make it a tuck spot, you can do that. Just remember not to glue this part, just glue down the ends, and then if you plan on using that as the cover so that you can tuck something in, that's fine. But on my books I really didn't do that. Alright, so okay, so now we're gonna glue our book together. So I'm going to lay down the first one, the first paper bag, and I'm going to take one of the pages and I'm going to glue this and this whole page. I'm doing it off camera. So I'm going to glue that page and I'm going to glue this, the gusset part, and make sure you put enough glue that it's going to hold it. And now I'm going to line this up with the paper bag the best that I can. I always turn it like this on the spine to try to get it to line up good, and then see how this, I don't know if you can see this indent right here. See, if you don't glue it and wait for it to dry, this will even be worse on some of your pages. That's why I say make sure you wait to fold your book, to fold your bags. Alright, so now you're gonna take another paper bag and you're gonna glue that on this page. So you're gonna have a paper bag in between these sections. So I'm gonna glue this. Now, like I said, some people like to use the double-sided tape, but for putting this together, I wouldn't recommend it, because you don't want your book to fall apart, especially if you give it as a gift, or say that you go and sell your finished project to somebody. You don't want their book to fall apart. So I always go like that to try to make sure it's even. And then I'm going to smooth. See, sometimes your pages don't line up perfectly. But as long as your spine does, this really doesn't matter. Because you can go back and trim that if you want. Or you could leave it because it is a junk journal. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so now we go and glue the next section. And I would stop the camera and do this and then come back, but I think because I want to make sure you do it right. You know, I don't want to leave you like, oh my god, what did she just do? You know, and have to repeat that section of the video. Alright, so now that's good. Now I'm going to lay down that section. Make sure that's glued down. So it's like you're making a sandwich. You know? So now glue. So this video I'm going to show you how to construct it, and then in the next video we will put the decorative pages on and make some pockets. But I don't think I'm gonna go and like make all tags and decorate all the pages. I'll leave that up to you, but I'm just gonna show you the basic steps of creating. So this is part 1, and on part 2 I'll show you how I did some pockets on the inside and things, and decorate the cover, you know, put the material, whatever, paper on. Okay, so, but I'm not going to go through the whole process of decorating the whole book. That just takes too much time, and you know, I like to do journal with me, or you know, do some page work, but I don't want to do too many videos, because unless, you know, I know some people like that, and I don't mind doing them. It's just time consuming, especially when I want to work on other things. So, alright, so I'm trying to keep my spine as straight as possible. And I'm being mindful of how the bags are folded, because I want to make sure I have one left that doesn't have this on the cover. I don't want that on my cover. I want them flat. So I'm being mindful of what bag I'm laying down. And the last the Paris travel one, I used some material for my cover, but this time I think I'm going to use paper. I think. I don't know. I haven't just really decided yet. So, but you could use material, paper, whichever one you decide. Cardstock, tissue paper, paint it, whatever you want. So, lay that down. Oops. Trying to make sure it's even. Alright, so. And I also been flipping back and forth, you know, which side do I want, just to make it a little even throughout the book. I'm trying to avoid some bulkiness. And that's one thing you have to think about when you're decorating your pages, because mine turned out really chunky. You don't have to make it that chunky. You know, you don't have to decorate as much as I did. But it's all to your preference. You know, everyone has their own preference. Alright, so I've got one more section. And when you're working with pages, different kind of paper, and if you got book pages or anything that has writing or some kind of decoration, and you have to be mindful of which way the pages are going, just make sure you're putting them in, not upside down, because once they're glued in there, they're in there. And I've learned that the hard way also. You know. Alright, trying to keep that straight. Okay, last piece, the cover piece. Yep, my battery's almost gone, so I'm going to try to hurry up before it dies, so I can finish off this one video. Alright, this will be my last piece to put on. I want to make sure it's even. Alright, so now you got your book put together. Now I want to make sure this stays nice and straight. So now I'm going to take this piece, which is the spine piece is 5 inches by 3.5, and you're going to score it at 1 inch and then at 2 1/4, or 2.5, sorry. So put glue all over this one. Make sure you put enough glue down, because you want to make sure this sticks well, because this is going to help reinforce the whole book. Alright, so what I do is try to place it in the middle and even, just like that, and then bring up the sides after. But I want to make sure that the spine is even. with the back, and then you can alright. Might be a little off, but that's fine. You can trim that if you like. Like right there, it's a little off, but that's fine. But there, alright, so now your book is complete. So now all you gotta do is let it dry, and then on part 2 of this video, I'll show you what I'm talking about. We'll put the materials on, or whichever I decide, I'm not sure. I'll show you how for the pocket on the front and the back, and then also these tags. And it depends on how you fold your bags and things. Excuse me. Like, see, I don't know how many's in here, how many tags we have to make, but alright, so there you go. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any comments or questions, please feel free to leave them at the bottom. And if you are interested in just purchasing one of these ready-made books so that you just have to go ahead and decorate, let me know. And if there's enough interest, I will create some and put them on my Etsy. And I don't really want to go ahead and make a bunch and then they don't sell. But if there's an interest, then I will. And I think I also can make the miniature ones, the smaller ones that I have. I also have some of those bags. So just let me know below if you're interested, and I will add those to my Etsy. And this will be part 1. Part 2, I'll show you, doing the tags and decorating the, put the pages and stuff in here. I'm not going to decorate, like embellish it. We're just going to get the book ready to embellish. So you have a wonderful day, and if you're not a subscriber, please hit the subscribe button. Hit that bell so you'll know every time I upload a new video. And I will link below the video for the completed journal that I just posted. And you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching.